All right, so when we're measuring in chemistry class and in physics and other engineering classes, we have to make sure that we are communicating all of the information that the instrument can tell us. So we need to make sure that we always estimate one more decimal place beyond whatever the smallest increment of measure is on the tool. So for example, with a quad beam balance, you're always going to measure out to the thousandth place, because if I take a peek over here, and this number right here, this is our estimated digit, right? So I'm just going to write that on here. This is our estimate, right? This is what the reader is going to estimate from the end. So that means it is between 3.68 and between 3.69, so 3.685. So that means that this quad beam balance measures to the hundredth place, so we estimate this thousandth place. And because it's between two lines, we gave it a 0.5. So now when we have a triple beam balance, right, this is going to be a less precise instrument. We're only going to measure to the hundredth place, because the triple beam balance, right, if we look over here at our number, right, at 4.62 down here at the bottom, then we have, let me see where my cursor is. There we go. At this 4.62 down here at the bottom, that means the triple beam balance measures to the 10th place, and we have to estimate one more decimal place. So it was not exactly on 4.6, not quite 4.65, so there's an estimate of that 4.62. So when we're talking about a ruler, with a metric ruler, we're going to take our measurements out to the hundredth place, because with our metric ruler, right, our ruler is going to measure to the 10th place, right? So then our estimate is going to be this 0.0 right here. This is our estimate. So this means that this was on the line. So like, for example, with this ruler right here, it would be right there. All right, so then with a thermometer, we're going to take our measurements out to the nearest tenths place, right? Because if the thermometer is going to measure to the nearest degree, then we have our estimate, which is one more decimal place. So remember, that could be 87.7. It could be 87.5. We know it is not exactly 87, and we know it is not exactly 88, so we do that estimate. With a graduated cylinder, we always read at the bottom of the meniscus. So let me move that out of the way. So there is no general rule, and you have to read the scale. So then that means you are going to make sure that you're going to add one more decimal place. So you need to add one more decimal place, and this depends on the graduated cylinder that you're going to use. Right? So if you're reading a graduated cylinder that has increments of 1 milliliter, you'll go to the 10th place. But if you're reading a graduated cylinder that has a 10th increment, you're going to go to the hundredth place. All right, so then in our next set of notes, we'll talk about scientific